Hey, it's your buddy Dan here, and welcome to the show today. We have an awesome call for you that I did with a marketer named Taigh Smyth. He's actually a good friend of mine. Taigh's living in Thailand right now, and we got on a call for about an hour and went over everything that he's working on in his business, how he's developing profitable sales funnels for his high-paying coaching clients, and also how he's been working with Jonathan Budd's $10,000 coaching clients to implement his systems in their business to become more profitable. And lastly, you're going to learn about something really cool that we got in the works, Taigh and myself, that we're preparing for everyone to take advantage of, especially you guys. So make sure to watch the call and take in as much information as you can. I hope you enjoy everything that we share on here. So enjoy the show. Hey everyone, welcome to the call here, and we're extremely fortunate to have a friend of mine on the line here, a fellow Canadian who's living in Thailand at the moment, and I'm pumped because we get a chance to do this call today. You know, the last time we did this call, Taigh, we had some technical difficulties and it didn't work out all that well, but thanks so much for taking the time today and getting on the call.
Yeah, thanks. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. Me too. You've helped hundreds of people build their brands online. You're a consultant to many different companies and run your own training sessions for rising entrepreneurs. And also, like you mentioned the other day, you're one of the coaches for Jonathan Budd's 5K plus coaching clients. So I'm very interested to get your opinion on a lot of different things, including like sales funnel tactics and lifetime customer value principles and things like that, all those great stuff. So, but first, just to get the ball rolling, can you tell us a little bit about how you got started in the whole internet marketing thing and what led you to become the internet entrepreneur you are today?
Yeah, sure. You know what? Honestly, I had no idea I would end up here, let's just say. To take you way back, actually part of the story you don't even know yourself. So to take you way back, I went to school for business. Actually, that's not something I really promote online because sometimes people look at that and say, oh, he went to school for business, so that's why he can, build his business online. But truth is, everything that I've learned and everything that we're going to talk about right now today was not taught in my business class. It's pretty much all taught outside of the classes and really in the trenches. So yeah, man, I'm excited for this call. See where we end up, but to take you back, it really was when I was in school, I was introduced to the network marketing industry. So if you're familiar with that industry, for anyone listening to this call, it's network marketing, multi-level marketing. It was about second year university. I was introduced to that business model and a company who really resonated with me. So I got started in that. At the time, I was running a painting business, and in that painting business, I learned some concepts that absolutely blew my mind. One being leverage. I saw that it was possible to build a business, hire other people, and get a whole lot more done. So I had 6 to 8 guys working for me. Have you heard of the College Pro Student Works painting? Do you guys have that?
Yeah, we have something similar. It's not called College Works, but we have like a student painting franchise type thing.
Yeah, so that's what I ran. I ran that for 2, 3 years, and it was super profitable. Did really well at it, and it really showed me like, hey, there's other ways to earn a living than working for the man, working for someone else, and building someone else's dream. So from the painting business, I realized I wanted to be in business for myself. The network marketing business came into my life. I saw that I was able to use that concept of leverage through working and building a team, connecting customers with products. So I was introduced to this whole entrepreneurial life, and that was in 2005, 2007. I always laugh. I remember when I was younger listening to people, and they would be able to remember dates, and now I'm realizing I'm starting to be able to do that. Oh, 2007 makes it sound. Back in 2000.
You're like a dinosaur in internet years.
So yeah, it was back in 2007. I read a book that absolutely changed my life, and it didn't provide the whole blueprint of where to start and exactly what to do, but this one particular book just opened my eyes and opened my mind to the idea that it is possible to build a business online. And that book was The 4-Hour Work Week by Timothy Ferriss.
Right, right. I just saw that on your Facebook not too
Yeah.
long ago. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, over here. So I'm, as Dan was saying, I'm over here in Thailand right now, just north of Bangkok. Was it last weekend I went down to the city and we got a hotel, and on the pool deck, it's like a rooftop pool deck. We walked out there, my girlfriend and I, and we were just looking at the scene, and somewhere in the pool deck, just like the picture was showing, that book was kind of wedged in between the deck, in between the boards on the deck, and there's a girl there laying in the sun, and there's that book. I was like, here we are years later, and that's the one book that kicked this all off. And really from that book, again, I got this idea that, hey, it's possible to build a business online. I didn't know what that looked like. That was back in 2007, and even the the internet marketing world was very different back then. It was something so new, this idea that you could build a business online. It was a very new thing. The conversation back then was, hey, is it possible to grow our businesses online? Like, do we really need to be online? That was the conversation. Business owners weren't fully convinced that they needed websites, that they needed to have an online presence. And of course, fast forward to now, 2013, that's no longer the conversation. The conversation is, how can we get visitors, our prospective customers and clients, how can we have them come to our website, enter into a marketing funnel, and convert those visitors into lifelong, happy, loyal customers, right? So that book kicked it all off for me. That was back in 2007, and I just, I put myself through another university. I put myself through just nights, days after days, weeks after weeks, months, literally just doing everything I could to learn these online strategies. And one of the things I wish I did a little earlier was find a mentor, find someone who could show me exactly what to do. There's always a fast way to do it, and kind of stubborn. I like to, figure things out. I like to think I can do it on my own, but over the years I've run into mentors and have gone the right coaching, and it's really made a huge difference. So that's really how I got introduced to this world. I was building a network marketing business. I was looking for new ways to connect with customers. In that business, they promote, a big part of it is, approach your friends and family, approach the people that you know, the warm market. It's kind of a belly-to-belly, face-to-face kind of strategies, methods of building a business, and I wanted something more. So when I saw it was possible, and Tim Ferriss laid out how he built, I think it was a nutritional company, and he built out, these pages, and my mind was just blown. It was like, whoa. So I saw what the internet really could do more than anything was open up the doors for business to the world. And I thought, well, that's pretty cool. If I can use the concept of leverage, residual income, these things, build a business online, I could someday, and this was just like maybe the seed was planted in that book, because I think he came to Thailand as well. I thought maybe someday I could go traveling the world, which is something I've always wanted to do, and somehow afford to do so, and somehow be able to support myself. So it wasn't just a vacation, it was more of a lifestyle. And, beyond the internet being a tool, being a medium, it's really allowed me to design a lifestyle and help other people do the same. And man, I've got to tell you, I don't think we're anything special for doing this. I think we're just in the right moment in history, right? Because 20 years ago, this would not have been possible.
Right.
Even 15 years ago, this would not have been possible. That is incredible. When you think of the timeline of history, and even 100 years ago, planes started to come in, so people would fly across the world instead of having to take a boat. We are in an incredible moment in history where it's possible to build a business right off of our laptop. and stay connected to friends, business partners, clients from wherever we are. Just about everywhere now has internet, just about. So it's been an incredible ride, and been very fortunate to work with, many people of all different experience levels, and just having fun doing it as well.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, like you said, fast forward 2007, you said, right? So fast forward 6 years and you're in Thailand, you're hanging out, living the internet lifestyle, if you will, and it's pretty cool. I mean, the internet's so young compared to, its lifespan, right? Like,
Yeah, it
can't even
is.
fathom how long it's going to be around for.
No, and I think we can agree, especially with, yeah, sure, the tools might change. We might end up using our iPhones or whatever else, but the internet as what it means in our life now, there's no doubt that it's here to stay. 'Cause kids nowadays, they're flipping through. I don't know if you've seen like a 3-year-old pick up an
Yeah,
iPhone, and like look up stuff on YouTube. It's like, what? Like,
yeah.
troubles with that. Like, it's just it's integrated in their lives. And I'll tell you what, man, is a part of the reason why right now it's Thailand. Next year it will be Abu Dhabi. My girlfriend is an international teacher at these high schools, and they are world class. They are way above schools back home in Canada, in the States. And what they are doing is giving all students MacBooks.
Really?
Their students are being taught how to use these tools. And even there's a school that she had an interview with. It's in Korea. It's called a 3-to-1 school. Every student is going to have a MacBook Pro, an iPad, and an iPhone.
It's pretty
All
sweet.
students are using tools. And the point is that these tools are going to be used in their life anyways. Why not teach them how to use it properly, and then also the etiquette of using these tools? So you don't have and this is kind of what's happening, you don't have a generation who, like I'm on an interview and, oh, sorry, one sec, guys, start texting, right?
Right.
We can at least teach kids how to properly use these tools, not only the technology and the functionality of them, but also the etiquette. So we don't have, people texting at the dinner tables, etc.
Hmm.
So instead of fighting technology and saying, no, like this isn't going to, this is going to be a bad thing, it's going to isolate us, and that's not true. Like, absolutely, I have better relationships because I can, click on a little Skype icon and see them, even though I'm all the way across the world, halfway around the world. So, yeah, we're in incredible times, and on the surface, it's all fun and games. When you dig a little deeper, there's some work to be done. But once you understand the strategies and where to start and what to do, you can absolutely build a profitable, stable business from using your computer, using the internet really as a tool, as a medium. Nothing's really changed. It's just a new medium. So,
Yeah, yeah, like starting there. So let's say, because I'm sure a bunch of our listeners are probably wondering, like, all right, so I'm getting started, right? Like they're trying to get started online. So I mean, for them, creating a sales funnel right now should be number one on their priority list. So can you just explain to us a little bit about what exactly a sales funnel is and how it incorporates into a brand or a business?
yeah, sure. Um, Yeah, absolutely. Before I do that, I want to bring something up that you just mentioned. You said, okay, so priority number one is to get a sales funnel. I would, I would suggest something else, and that's, one of the things that I find when people are working online, they want to get, whether it be a sales funnel up or they just want to get, the Facebook advertising strategy down pat or the new LinkedIn strategy or whatever, flashy strategy pops up, for the week. They want to invest in and learn that. And what I find is that it'll be a lot more effective and productive if you take a step back and before even thinking about the sales funnel, think about really what do you want to build? What business do you want to be in? And most people, and I did the same thing, you just kind of fall into a business, fall into a niche. And sometimes if you didn't do that consciously, if you did that kind of by mistake, you might find yourself serving a market that you're actually not very passionate about. So I have a framework, I call it the integrated strategy framework. And the first step really is to position yourself. That's to figure out, who do you want to serve? What marketplace are you passionate about? There's really two ways you could do this, and this is up for debate. Some people say, okay, look at the marketplace and find a need and go service that need, right? Or the other way, and this is what I would suggest, understand your skill set, understand your passions and who you would like to work with, then look at the marketplace and figure out, is there a need that you can help out with? So this first step is to position your business. Really understand, what value do you have to offer, and who do you want to work with? What's going to create a lifestyle, create a business where you step out of bed, put your first foot down on the floor, and you get excited. You wake up, you're excited about your business. It's not a chore. Because then, if you don't do this, otherwise you're basically just creating a job for yourself.
Right.
A business that you're not passionate about, why? What's the point? Why not just go get a job? Because it's, in my opinion, quite honestly, it's harder work than getting a job. Oh, I can hear the backlash. People their jobs and who work 16 hours a day. But you know what I mean? As entrepreneurs, who knows what's harder, what's worse, what's better. But, as entrepreneurs, we work hard.
For sure. So do you have any advice for someone who like you said, they're just starting out and they want to choose what niche they're going to go into? So how do they kind of find the right balance between, their interests on one hand and also a profitable niche, right, that they can build a business in?
Great question. So I have the step-by-step process of figuring that out. And one of the important questions you can ask yourself to figure this out, if you're okay, I don't know really what I'm interested in, or I don't know really where to start. One of the things you can do is look at pay attention to the section that you walk to when you enter a bookstore. So when you walk into a bookstore, what section do you end up at? And look at, okay, well, maybe that's a market that you'd like to serve. That's an interest you have, whether it be cooking, health and wellness, automotive, whatever it is. That's an interest you have. So figure out, okay, what are your interests? And then the second step of the framework is to understand. Understand the market. Understand the needs of the market. What keeps them up at night? Where are the gaps? What are their challenges where you could swoop in and be the savior, offer the solutions. So that's where, people who are, okay, yeah, this sounds great, but how does this apply? Look at, where do you gravitate? What are your interests? And another good question is, hey, what do people come to you for advice on? Right? So oftentimes we might think we're really good at computers or understanding technology, but our friends are coming to us for relationship advice. They see us as an expert in relationships. Well, that's a huge niche online. Dating advice. Now, that's not to say that every market is potentially profitable. So that's why first step is to position, second step is to understand, and understand the needs of the market, understand what's happening in that marketplace. Is there a spot in the market where you can build a viable business, a profitable business? And sometimes people look at this and say, well, there's so much competition. There's thousands of solutions out there. Well, that just means that's a good sign. That shows you that there are people out there who are building a business, servicing other people's needs, helping other people. And, what I'd actually be more concerned about is if there wasn't any competition, that's when you get concerned. You say, oh, there's no competition. This is like a brand new idea. Okay, cool. And not to say don't do it, because, for sure, someone had to come up with the, newest idea. But really look at that and see, hey, like, is there a market here, or am I just making this up? So that's step 2 of the 4-step framework, or 4-module, 4-step framework. I think it's important to go back to really what business is all about. And this is something that I'll never forget. I was going from a philosophy class to a business class, and I also majored in philosophy. So it was kind of this weird mind tease of being in a philosophy class where they talk about, does money exist, like what's real, and reality versus, all this stuff. And then I go into an economics class where it's like, bottom line, here's like how to more profits and stuff like that. So those are the courses I was taking. And there's this one particular day, I was driving back to university from Christmas break. It was super cold. I don't know what the weather is for you right now, but it's around this time of year. Well, what's the temperature over there right now?
I could check that out for you. It's somewhere probably around like, I want to say like it's got to be minus 15 right now. Yeah, it's minus 13, so it's not too enjoyable, but
43 degrees Celsius difference from here today.
It's outrageous.
I already feel the sun. It's going to be a hot one. So anyways, on this one particular day, it was something like that, minus 13. You get in the car, it takes like 10 minutes to warm up. I was listening to this audio, and something clicked for me. It really, it changed my mindset on what business really means. And who was it? I think it was, I want to say it was Tim Sales. Oh, no, sorry, it was Jim Rohn. It was Jim Rohn talking about, the philosophy of business. Like, what is your philosophy? And what I realized is that business is all about helping other people. No matter what industry, what market you're in. It could be developing pens, highlighters, phones, flash drives, whatever. It's all about providing value to other people. The amount that we do that is the direct correlation to what we earn, right? So someone who works at McDonald's makes whatever, $10 an hour, because that's the value that they bring to the marketplace in that position. So if we want to become more valuable, if we want to increase our income, we have to develop our own skills. So we can develop our own skills or develop programs, products, services that bring more value to the market. So that's why, in the traditional system, people go to school to develop their skills. So, a doctor is paid more than whatever, a teacher or whatever, because it's seen as they have more value because they're dealing with someone's life, et cetera, et cetera. So it was this switch of like, okay, so really all businesses, it's about just helping other people. And the more we can do that, the greater prosperity we will experience in our business. So as long as we know, and it's with certainty, that what we have to offer is absolutely going to help the other person, then really we have an obligation, we have a duty to go out there and do our best job possible of marketing our programs, our services, our products, whatever it is. So with that understanding, if, I bore that philosophy, I've tweaked the wording, but with that understanding, because believe it or not, a lot of us have this mental block that I don't have value to offer. People won't see, like, why would someone pay to hear me speak or to teach them something? I'm not worth it. They have these fears, and they're very real. It's the reason why they won't send an email. It's the reason why they won't shoot a video. It's the reason why it's all of these fears that we have. I didn't think we'd get into this today, but is those blocks that we've built up, and it's a lack of understanding of, hey, this isn't about me, right? Like what we're talking about, if I can help just one person, one of your listeners, fantastic. And, you know, that's what goes back to what we were briefly said before this call. I was like, oh, you know, Monday morning, this was, but honestly, my mental switch was like, okay, this isn't about me. I just want to share what I've learned, and hopefully that will help someone else out there. So when we're building our business and approaching it with that philosophy of, hey, let's go out there and see if we can help some people, and just see what happens. See when we bring some value to the marketplace, help people get some results, and just let it be. See what happens. Try not to have the prejudgments, and cool things will happen.
Right, right. Because I mean, like, you know, for me, it's 8:30 here. It's dark out, but you're just waking up over there in Thailand. You know, you definitely didn't have to get on this call, wake up early, like you said. You went to sleep later on last night, but you know, it's like the sacrifices you make because you want to add more value to people's lives, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and it becomes fun, right? That's one of the things that I really experienced when I had my first workshop, my first live workshop where we had guests, you know, fly in and work through these strategies face to face and develop their game plans and show them, you know, some of the details of all this stuff. That was the biggest takeaway for me when I was working with people in a live setting, and all of a sudden everything became real. It's like, holy smokes. You know, we had a student there, Angela, a wonderful, wonderful lady who has a passion of helping other people, but with her spin on it, right? And it's like, well, that's so cool. What we are doing and what you're doing is going to help other people share their message, right? Share, and that's what, you know, again, it goes back to what businesses are all about. And so, yeah, man, it's like, that was it was a big turning point when I saw that, hey, like, no, when I shoot a video or send out an email, like, and I always knew it intellectually. I knew that I'm sending it to real people, and, you know, you get responses, you get, you know, video testimonials and things like that. But when you meet them face to face, it's a totally different experience. And that's where it's like the internet's fantastic, but it'll never beat that face to face interaction where, you know, you hang out, you cheers over a beer and whatever, you chat. But yeah, it brings things to a whole new level when you really understand and do whatever it takes. Go to conferences, go to workshops, meet other people with similar interests. Do what it takes to meet those people, to meet people with a similar interest. So you don't feel alone, you know, like you don't feel like, holy smokes, I'm the only one who's interested in building this online business. It's absolutely not true. Most people simply don't know about it. But in other ways, it's true. Like, there's not too many people who will stay up late, like us, like you, and you know, and shoot a video or train or figure these strategies out. This is for a very small group of entrepreneurs, and a fun group at that. You know, like it's just attracts a different kind of person, people who want something different out of life.
definitely.
And those are cool people to service.
Yeah, I was actually just thinking, like, you know, I've spoken with a bunch of different entrepreneurs, both younger and older, and I find, like, you know, entrepreneurs are the most happy and fulfilled people you meet most of the time because, you know, they're working for the greater purpose and they're not working for someone else, right? Like, what they're doing is to help them and to ultimately help other people, especially when you get into selling information products and stuff like that. So,
Yeah, yeah, and just quickly on that, like, this is where over the years we are talking. I'm assuming the people who are listening are entrepreneurs, whether they know it or not. And it's never to look down at people who have jobs. You know, that's totally cool. Like, we need people who want to have jobs. This world is going to be, it'd be chaotic without that.
Right.
right? So we're more talking to the entrepreneurs, the people who really see that working for someone else isn't for them. But that's to say, if working for someone else and having all the benefits of having a job too, there are tons of benefits, right? If that's for you as well, that's totally cool too. But we are assuming that the listeners are entrepreneurs at heart. Just as you say, they want something different. They want to work for themselves and something a little bit, if you want to call it unconventional, something like that.
Right, right. I mean, yeah, that's what most of our listeners are aspiring or rising entrepreneurs. So with that said, let's get into, if you don't mind, more of a technical aspect of it, if you will. So creating a sales funnel and having information products out there, it's all about delivering value, like you said earlier, right? So it's also about stacking the odds in your favor and having that irresistible offer, because like you said, someone's gonna pay you money for what you're giving them, so you have to give them something of at least equal or greater value to that. So how do you go about crafting an irresistible offer that will draw people's attention? Like, what gets you to buy or to enter in your email address, stuff like that?
Yeah, and that goes really to the second step of understanding the market. One of the biggest, I guess, learning curves over the years has been, oftentimes we think we know what people want, but we could be totally way off the mark. So when we do the research, send out the surveys, and talk to people and really understand what they need, want, or don't want, then we can start to craft these irresistible offers. These offers where they just nail it. People are excited and they can't help but enter into your sales funnel, whether they know it or not. So for example, you want some more of the technical insights to this. If we're creating an offer for someone in the health and wellness industry, someone who's looking to, let's say, get rid of their knee pain, and we are promoting a product, whether it's our own, I think Tim Ferriss, I think he did something similar to this. He created his own supplement, whether that's your own supplement or you represent a company that has a supplement that helps with knee pain, with rebuilding the cartilage in someone's joint. Well, we understand, okay, people, what they want to get rid of their knee pain. But the deeper reasons behind that, it's not only the discomfort of the pain, but it's not being able to go out, hang out with the guys, and go play hockey. It's not being able to roll around on the ground with their grandchildren. It's not being able to, play their favorite sports, do their favorite hobbies, because of this pain is now holding them back. So it's really understanding what are the needs and wants. What are the deeper needs and wants? And man, if people, and again, I kind of mentioned, this is what people skip. This is like the main step that people skip. And this is the most important step. Because selling becomes very easy. Promoting a product, some people don't like the word selling, which I'll get to in a moment. Promoting a product or service, which promoting and selling, the same word, but whatever. Promoting, for right now, we'll say promoting a product or service that you absolutely know will fill the gaps in the needs of people. It will absolutely help them. It becomes so easy to promote. It's like, hey, do you have knee pain? Check this out.
Right.
Here are results. Some of the things you need to include are social proof. And really answer these two questions. People are sitting there and asking themselves, will this work for me? And can I do this? Sorry, what's in it for me? And can I do this? So they want to know the benefits, and they want to know that they can do it too. So in our sales funnel, and I'll get to that in a moment, in our sales funnel, it's really an education process of what that's all about, right? So people think, okay, so what is the sales funnel? A sales funnel is basically a process that is in place to educate our prospective customers and clients. Right? So it's an educational process in place to educate our customers and clients and to qualify people to see who's interested in our offer. And that happens at the very first moment they come in contact with any of our marketing materials. That could be an ad, that could be an email, that could be a banner ad, that could be a website, that could be a blog, that could be a capture page. Any of that and more. That first contact, what you're trying to do is filter out yes or no. Is this going to be for you? Yes or no. Do you have, if I had a supplement that's going to, focus on helping people with their joints, am I going to advertise on, on a knitting website? No. Now, some people would say, okay, yeah, you should, because maybe that group of people are older and they have knee pains. But in this day and age, we have the ability to target exactly who can see our ads, who sees our ads. So why not target people who are specifically looking for that solution? There are websites where people are looking up their health issues. There are websites on joint pain specifically, I'm sure of it. Right? So why not place your ads and start this educational process on websites or on places that people are actively looking for a solution. Right? So that's really, if we change the word sales funnel to educational process, it's the same thing. It's really the same thing. Now, the whole thing about the word promotion and sales, I find a lot of people, and this may or may not apply to our listener right now, a lot of people have this fear about the word sales. They get this apprehension, what? They have used car sales mentality. I don't want to be a slimy, slick salesperson. Again, they're missing the mark, missing the point of we need to become incredible salespeople to effectively communicate the unique benefits of our programs, products, or services. It's our duty to build the absolute best sales funnel and to sell as many people as humanly possible, knowing that every person who comes into the front door and out and into our shop as buying customers, they are receiving way more value than they've ever spend. So, so the technical aspect of a sales funnel, if you want to look at it, the front door of a sales funnel can simply be a blog, where people, you see it all the time, sign up for my newsletter. Then you can build the relationship with people, continue to communicate and express or educate what, the unique benefits and unique differences are in your product or service. Then you can sell them. Then they can say, oh, you know what? This is for me. That sales process is the logical sequence that it only makes sense to buy your program because of their desire for whatever it is. So the sales process, after they learn about you, when you reach out, you've connected with them, it's only logical for them to want to buy from you. So the front door can be, a blog post, it can be a lead capture page. A lead capture page is a very simple page where it's basically, hey, here's an offer. It's usually some kind of free offer, whether it be a newsletter, an audio, a video, something of value to that person, where it at least gets them started on their path to realizing the end result. So if their end result is free of knee pain and being able to live an optimal health with, rolling around with their grandchildren again, at least they take one step further. Maybe they don't buy the product right up front, but their one step closer is learning an exercise guide that they can stretch their knees and relieve some of that pain. So it takes them one step closer to their end result, their ultimate goal. So that's the front door of the sales funnel. Have some kind of valuable content for free that they want to continue to build a relationship with you, i.e., enter in their name and their email address to learn more, they are signing up to be educated. And this goes back to people love to buy, but they hate being sold.
Right.
What does that mean? I absolutely love this, and I forget who said this, who was the first one to say this. Marketers love saying this. People love to buy, they hate being sold, and it's absolutely true. People love to go to the mall. Not me, but people love to go to the mall, right? But they hate being sold. When a clerk comes up to them, a store clerk or someone who's working at the store, and they say, "Oh, can I help you?" It's like, "Oh, they're going to sell me something." No, don't need help. Well, of course you need help. You have some, by the mere fact that you're in that store, you could be anywhere else for that moment, but you're in that store, you might be open to something. You might be. So instead of saying, how can I help you? Because that's basically saying, buy something from me. If they change their language, hey, how are you today? And have a conversation. Imagine the story, hey, how are you today? Oh, good. That's it. I mean, sure, that happens. But have a real conversation. Oh, yeah, how's your weekend been? Have some kind of conversation so this barrier, I don't want to be sold, starts to break down.
Right. And just to interject really quick, because, we could easily go off here on a whole nother tangent and we talk all day about this stuff, but, just really quick, because it's right at the front of my brain and I'm crazy, I might lose this. So, because you touched on before, right, like someone would enter in their name or their email, like on a blog post or something like that. So that's the front end, or the front door is the word you used, of their sales funnel or their sales process, right? So, like, what are the trends now in 2013 and beyond? Like, what do you see being popular as a medium to capture leads and get your foot in the door and get people exposed to your business before you try and sell them on whatever you're providing?
I mean, the trend is, and it always will be, is to provide value right up front, is to give before you expect to receive. So the trend is, some of the trends, I mean, specifically, you see just asking for the email, because the more you ask for, the less people are going to, enter into that door. So what I mean is, if you ask for your name, your phone number, your address,
right,
what you like to, do at night, So one of the trends is to ask for less, but then, of course, the toss-up is you're going to get less qualified people.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay, because I have a system in place. I only ever talk to people who have spent money with me, usually. I'm not saying that's always the case. Sometimes I'll ask for surveys, and I'll put out surveys, and it's even good to randomly call your followers, meaning the people who are following you and in that education process, in that sales funnel, to learn more about them. So most of those systems are in place to automatically weed them out. So I don't mind having a big net, then narrowing it down automatically through the system. So that's why sometimes I only ask for the email. One of the trends, this is something that some people will debate, but I mean, I think the general consensus in the marketing world is that the whole, single opt-in, double opt-in, if this doesn't make sense to you, you'll come across it and just make a note of this right now. But I don't believe in double opt-in. I don't see that there's an added value in doing so. So pretty much, all of my stuff is single opt-in.
Yeah, me too.
there's just no point on having them do that additional step. If they wanted to be on your list, like if they gave you their real email address, then they would have. If not, then I mean, so be it too. So, I think single opt-in is the way to go there. Um, and yeah, it really depends on the goal of your sales. If you're just trying to get connected to people, pick up the phone, and put them through that education process right on the phone, right up front, then it might make sense to ask for their name, their email address, and their phone number, right? Hint, hint, network marketers, hope you're listening, right? Most people in the network marketing industry, they're just trying to get the lead. They're trying to pick up the phone to build a relationship with them. And that will make a huge difference. For those business owners who actually pick up the phone and show that they're real people, automatically they've set themselves apart from the 99% of people online who are building a business who won't do that. And that in itself, I would suggest, is one of the unique benefits that we have as entrepreneurs, as small business owners, small, medium-sized business owners building online. We can build a better relationship with our followers than these big box companies can.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, because I know, just even thinking as a customer, right? Like when I buy something, every page I land on, or everything I'm looking into potentially buying, I have expectations of the company. Like I want them to live up to my expectations. So like it's kind of our job as marketers, as creators, to like wow people in every part of your sales funnel. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Totally. And it's actually really easy to do. It's easy, but it's hard. It's easier not to do it. That's why most people don't do it. It's easier not to pick up the phone and say, hey, welcome. I just want to give you a quick call as a new customer and welcome you. I thank you. I want to thank you for your business and for putting trust in me. I want to let you know that I am a real person. If you're selling information products, do that and watch what happens. Watch what happens if you pick up the phone and call your customers. And you want to do that. For someone who's taking the time, who trusts you enough to pull out their wallet, enter in those numbers, to send you money electronically, a lot that has happened. So why not pick up the phone and build that relationship with them?
Right. I was actually speaking to someone a couple of weeks ago. His name's Jeff Mills, and he was like, when he first started online, he would literally just have one page, and it wouldn't even be like a lead capture page. What it would be is he would get people to call him, and he would only do business with them if they spoke on the phone. Like he wouldn't accept anything just online, because he wanted that relationship and that next level of commitment. Like, okay, this guy's serious, like he actually wants to take the value that I'm offering him.
Yeah, and I mean, to give that in practical words for people, okay, how does that apply? If you have a program, what you can do, and this is something that I'm doing now as well in my marketing funnel, is if you have a larger program or whatever, it could be for a small program too, just as this Jeff guy that you're talking about, just as he does, you can have an application process, right? So you can actually have a survey or an application where people first have to apply to get access to your program, access to your product or service. And man, the refund rates on people who you have talked to plummet.
For sure.
You will not. You just simply won't, because people know you're a real person. They won't want to take advantage of you, right? So it's a very smart strategy, and it's going back to that mom and pop shop, business model where you're really building a relationship with people. So yeah, I mean, I think that's the trend. It's going away from maybe back in 2005, 2007, like and earlier days, people were throwing up these sales pages, throwing up these offers and just making money off of their pages, not providing social proof, building a relationship, any of these things. That was working. But now that people are used to the internet, they're used to seeing so many offers online, whether it be from travel websites, Groupons, and all this kind of stuff. There's a bit more of a process, and it's the same process that was always in place for traditional businesses, where we have to provide social proof, build, offer testimonials, and all this stuff. We have to put people through a process so they feel comfortable doing business with us.
Yeah, yeah. Just really quick because I know we don't have much time here, and I just have one last question, and then we'll let you run. I'm just wondering. So, you know, um, is there a difference? Like, what's your opinion on? I'm wondering if you're selling a low ticket item versus a high ticket item. So, like, let's say low ticket is like, I don't know. I've heard people say 500 and below, but let's just say like 200 and below versus a high ticket item, so like 500 and above. Like, do you approach um, the entrance of your funnel differently if it's a high ticket item versus a low ticket item? Does that make sense to you?
Mhm. I think so. Yes, and it's kind of like yes and no. The fundamentals don't change. Maybe the intensity does. Okay, so I'll try to clarify that. Meaning the fundamentals of providing social proof, giving some results in advance, like helping people along that process, um, building the relationship. If you're trying to sell a program of $2, 3, 4, $5,000, it'll take people more time. They have to be convinced and see that exactly. They have to understand what the benefits are to them, and they absolutely know that this can work for them too. So it's a yes answer where yes, it's a bit different, and yes, it's the same. The fundamentals of what you need to put the person through are the same, but it needs to be intensified. So, you know, I'm not going to, and I've tried this, but I'm not for a $2,000, $3,000 purchase if they don't know who I am. They don't know the value that I can bring them, right? Meaning there hasn't been some time that I can build a relationship with them. And I'm not kidding. I've tested this, and it works. It all works. But the question is, what's more effective?
Right.
Right. So what I mean is that I tested that. People would enter into my marketing funnel. I wouldn't sell them anything at all, and then I'd have a live webinar selling a $3,000 program. And what I mean that it worked is that, yes, I did get students. I did get clients purchasing that program. But it's more effective, meaning I'll have more customers, more clients enter out, enter as or come in as new customers if I put them through the proper process of building building a relationship and having them take smaller steps. And I think that's what you're talking about, big ticket, low ticket, at what price point. If you set up your marketing funnel understanding that price point is absolutely going to be one of the objections, right? Meaning one of the roadblocks why people will say, no, I can't do this, I can't afford $1,000. And many of the times that's a legitimate concern. But if you can offer them a way to get started at a low price point so they can start getting results. Maybe they don't end up at their ultimate goal, but they've moved from point A to point B. They still need to get all the way to, point element.
Yeah. I get what you mean.
Help them take one step, and that could be worth $100, $200. That could be more than worth that. So all of a sudden, now you see that, hey, they've taken that step, they've built trust in you, they've had an experience buying with you, so they'll feel more comfortable buying again. So your original question was what? Is it different? Yes and no, and yes and yes. It's different. Intensified. What I would suggest is give people the opportunity to have a good buying experience with you. Then you can, from your big group of customers, then you can start to narrow down who are going to be your best customers. It's easier to do so on the internet because you can reach a whole lot of people. But yeah, does that answer your question? I want to make sure that.
No, that makes a lot of sense, and it may have been a little confusing because you're like yes and yes, no and yes, but the premise of it, I understand completely. You're basically, just to summarize, I think the main takeaway from all of that is you're using the same principles of delivering value, but you have to, if you're selling like a higher ticket item, you obviously have to deliver more value up front and for free, but at the end, I think what I'm taking away from the conversation is that you want to start your sales funnel off with something that's like much lower barrier to entry so that more people could take advantage and start seeing those results and then turn those customers into buyers of your like higher ticket programs.
That's exactly it. Without
Cool.
all the yes, yes.
Yeah, cool, cool. Well, listen, Tag, thanks so much, man. You really shared a ton with us today, and like, what are you working on that's new and exciting now? Like, where can people check you out?
Well, yeah, if you'd like to check out what I'm doing and experience the marketing funnel for yourself, because I think it's one thing to talk about, it's another thing to experience it. You can check out integratedfunnels.com. That's really the front door of my marketing funnel. I'm really focused on entrepreneurs, people who have their own businesses right now, who are looking to integrate online strategies to attract more clients and more customers and build a bigger business. It's also for people who have an idea, like kind of that exciting idea phase, and they're wondering how can I build this into a profitable business. And it's also for complete newbies, people who haven't had results online, but they're looking into it. They see the potential, and it's brand new, and they don't know where to start. So really, integratedfunnels.com, that is the front door of my marketing funnel. And for nothing else, you can see the way I take people through and educate them. Study the funnel. Whether what I have to offer is going to be for your listener, for you specifically, it may or may not be. I don't know. But if for nothing else, look at what's happening. How am I sending emails and building that relationship? But yeah, man, that's pretty much it. I'm focused on that, focusing on helping people with coaching programs and information products, helping them build out their profitable online funnels. And then, this coming year, we're going to have a few live workshops where we can get face-to-face, hang out, and marketing funnels as well. So I think, and you're actually the first one to know this, but it's looking like June. The next one's going to be in June. We're not sure. We're going to try to make it at some nice destination that people want to travel to anyways. The first one was in Seattle, which was it's a nice place, but a little rainy. So yeah, we'll have the live workshops as well, and hopefully you can make it, and then some of your people can make it out as well, and we'll have a good time, build a big business, and have fun. That's
Yeah,
pretty much.
sounds awesome. I love it. I love it. Thanks so much, Tag, for hopping on the show. You shared a ton with us today, and thanks for putting up with the technical difficulties last time and taking some time to deliver some value and the secrets out about your workshop. So you shared it here first.
Cool, man. Yeah, I appreciate it. I look forward to hearing everybody's success. For your listeners, Dan is dedicated. Like, it's incredible to see what you're doing. I've been following you for a long time as well, so it's cool to see what you're doing and how you're helping people out as well. Helping them build their business and share their message. So it's great to get connected. I hope your listeners have found some value in this so they can go out and build their own success stories, So cool, man.
Sounds good. Let's dominate online. Thanks, man.